that episode of Adventure Time was amazing. Oh man, this is definitely story arc territory here. When they said that the first few episodes of the season were going to kind of form a little arc here, they weren't kidding, man. This episode is probably like the least standalone episode that's not a two-parter or a three-parter in the entire series. I mean, like, you explicitly have to know the events of the other episodes to understand any of this at all. So I guess spoilers if you haven't seen the Season 6 premiere, but I guess, you know, this would also be a major... No, this would also be a major spoiler. Man, that episode was so good, though. The special care was definitely put into it. I mean, the animation quality seemed to be, like, a bit higher, or at least the attention to detail in this episode, like little blades of grass and that sort of thing, like a solar flare, lens flare type thing. Like, little details were definitely put into this episode to make it seem... not make it seem more important, to show that it's a pretty important episode. And even though, like, not much actually occurs, it's the good kind of not much actually occurring. It's the kind of... I even hesitate to call this a story, because it really isn't even one. I mean, it's... The plot of this episode, I guess, is that Finn tries to build a giant tower to get to his dad. You know, where were you when they built the tower to heaven, I guess. I wonder how many of you will get that reference. But really, I mean, it goes so much beyond that. I don't want to say that there's any, like, crazy deep philosophy or anything like that in here, but it's visually interesting, and you can tell that there's a lot more going on with Finn than has ever gone on with Finn. Finn has been just, like, so morally good throughout the entire course of the series, up until about maybe, like, Flame Princess getting her to do bad things for his pleasure. Up until that point, Finn's just, like, been the moral good, you know, moral high ground just through and through, you know, and occasionally he'll do little things to get revenge, but he'd never, ever, ever want to resort to violence. I mean, you know, he would even hesitate probably to hurt the Lich, you know, if it wasn't so easy. And, you know, not at this point, obviously, but Finn is, like, so morally good, and then to see him kind of have this... I mean, I guess he's questioning who he is. He finds out his dad's a jerk, and that changes everything, I guess. You know, like, he's not as noble. He's not from a noble bloodline. He's not, you know, his dad's not a hero. So what is he, you know? And his dad took his arm, basically. And that's a big deal. That's crazy, I mean, for a kid's show to dive into this sort of thing. It's great. It is absolutely fantastic how they're handling this. And I like even at the beginning of the episode, Jake says, this isn't the sort of thing that you can just kind of go back to normal with. And he's right. This is going to take a story arc to fix. It's not like Finn's arm's just going to magically grow back, I hope. You know, in this episode we see him trying out arms made, well, just the one arm made by Bubblegum, a candy arm, and we see a few other arms made by the other princesses, which is like a sweet gesture. And Finn gets a cool telekinetic ghost arm, which kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, the Fear Feaster, I guess. Was he that translucent? But, like, it's cool. I like what they're doing with Finn's arm. I like how it's not just... He has a robot arm now. They're messing around with it. They're playing around with it. I'd be cool if he never got another permanent arm and just kind of, like, had a few different mechanisms that he put on occasionally or whatever. Although I have a feeling that I mean, I don't think they're going to go down the route with Finn taking his dad's arm. And, I mean, despite what the episode ends on, there is no way that Finn is alright with this. There is no way. He's saying it because he doesn't want Princess Bubblegum and Jake to worry about him. He knows that this is something he's going to go do. I mean, this is going to be, you know, it's like the ultimate confrontation. It's Star Wars right there, you know, him and his dad. There's going to be some kind of confrontation, and I don't think that Finn will take his arm or his life or anything like that, but I think Finn might do something he's going to regret. I mean, it's definitely building up to that. This is not the last we've seen of his dad. And of course, even in this episode, you know he didn't actually meet his dad. Like, you knew that was some sort of scam by some character. Let me see what my other notes are. And I'll talk about the ending, too. Oh, that ending was priceless. Oh, I like how Finn mentions the Banana Man, and, you know, maybe I'll get Banana Man to build me a rocket to space. I like that. And, the Finn levitating the blocks and stuff, it felt very Minecraft-y. I'm a big Minecraft player. But, like, especially the block Like, it was the dirt block, like the one that the fawn was on, had like a layer of grass on the top. Looked totally like a Minecraft block, could just be my imagination. But yeah, I mean, the episode is great. Visually, it was good. Storytelling-wise, it was engaging. Although, again, I hesitate to even call it a story. It's just kind of Finn getting his emotions out. He does not know how to get rid of emotions healthily. And, you know, Jake, for all his wisdom, I don't know if he's handling this the right way with Finn, telling him to just kind of let it out. I mean, Finn's never, ever faced something like this. You know, it's always been... And it's a good metaphor for the show, because it's always been wacky, you know, monsters and, you know, goofball ice kings kidnapping princesses. It's been fantasy, and now Finn has to deal with something real. Dad issues. Like, not just that, but a dad who pretty much ripped his arm off, indirectly, but still led to physical harm and abandonment on his child. That is a real issue in the world, and I mean, I can't believe that they went this route, and it's playing out beautifully. So although the whole two-parter that started off the season wasn't the big epic story arc thing that we were hoping for, it was the start of it. I can see this going places. Granted, it's very possible that there'll be 1 or 2 more episodes that deal with this, and then it'll all fade away, or maybe that this 8-episode story arc thing they're talking about is interspersed with these episodes like James 2 that are breather episodes. And I may have been a bit too harsh on James 2. It was alright to give it a breather. I like that this episode wasn't immediately following the last one, because it makes it feel less like a 3-parter and more like a story arc, more like a world that actually exists instead of a cartoon where everything's reset at the end of the day. You know, as much as a lot of people wanted to see Princess Bubblegum and everyone's reaction to Finn missing an arm, I mean, this was great fallout to a great episode. There's even a fallout shelter in the episode. Oh man, I would love a Fallout game about the Ice King, or about the land of Ooh. That would be great. Anyway, the ending. Oh, the ending was priceless. When Finn knocks down the tower, I'm thinking to myself, this tower is huge. There is no way that it could be safe doing that, and sure enough, it takes out half the Candy Kingdom. Turns out that Princess Bubblegum's fears were definitely accurate. I mean, where's the Gumball Guardians to shield them in this instance, right? And the best part was at the very end where Princess Bubblegum yells out, "My arm." And of course it's funny because she does have bubblegum arms. I mean, she just has to manufacture more candy to put on her arm. And it's a simple solution for her, not so much for Finn. So yeah, all in all, I am very impressed by this episode. And even though it does stand as a part of the greater story arc, and you can't watch it without knowing what's going on in the show currently, I will say that it is definitely something that I would revisit on a standalone basis after having seen the first 2 episodes. I would revisit this episode just because it is a very strong... There's just something very strong about it, how it tells the story through the emotions and the visuals, and Finn sings a song, and there's something very eerie about Finn singing about violent revenge in a very sweet... I mean, you can tell something broke Finn. I mean, you know, he's had girl troubles, alright, and he's been depressed about that, but this is something that runs deep with Finn, and you can tell it's really messing him up. I mean, what about the last time he had dad issues with Joshua? I mean, that ruined him. He gave up his will to fight because his friend lost faith in him, all because of his other father. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to find that, you know, there's another human alive, and it's your dad, and then he's a jerk! I mean, it's just, I don't know, I think the story arc is finally sinking in with me. I'm really liking it here, so, yeah, Pieguyrulz, out.